Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to give you the easiest and most simple to understand guide to playing Zed in the mid lane. Here are the topics that we will be covering today. Zed's items and runes, his abilities, the most practical combos you can use on him every game in the laning phase and outside of laning phase, how to play him in the early game level 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6, along with how to play him after the laning phase, and last but not least, how to close the game as Zed. After watching this guide, you should have a better understanding of how to win lane with Zed and how to carry the game as Zed. If it's your first time here, my name is Little Boy Hope. I peaked Diamond 4 in Preseason 10 and haven't bothered ranking higher in Season 10. I'm not the best Zed player, but I do main Zed with about 459,000 mastery points on him. I do also have a lot of important Zed knowledge and in-game mechanics that I would like to share with you in today's guide. Along with that, I also went 10 wins, 0 losses in my placement games as well for Season 11. Alright, so first off, Zed has a few different mythics that you can play. You can either go Prowler's Claw, which is really good for combos bursting and sticking onto the enemies. It's also got the most maximum damage out of all the three mythics that I'm about to show you guys. And then along with that, we have the Dustblade. Dustblade's also really nice on Zed because you disappear after you kill someone. I find this extremely useful in low elo, or if you're new to the game, really useful. Also, the 99% slow when you attack is really nice for hitting your Qs as well. So if you have troubles hitting your Q, definitely pick up Dustblade. I like Eclipse. Eclipse is what most Zeds run, and it's really nice for trading in lane, lifestealing, sustaining, and also feels really nice when you get your combos off. Especially I like to lead off with WEQ auto attack, so I really like Eclipse. Right after that, you go into Ionian Boots of Lucidity. These boots are like super essential because as Zed you need ability haste, and so you need around 40 ability haste on Zed. That just makes it so you can Q twice when you W. Really useful for maximum damage. And then I like to go Umbral Glaive next just because of the ability haste. This gives me pretty close to 30% cooldown reduction, and so I like Umbral Glaive. With that, pick up Transcendence in your runes or blue buff, and you are sitting right at around 40 to 45 to 50 ability haste, which is really nice for your wombo combos. When you use your abilities, you can throw off 2 Qs once you W, which is really nice and does a lot of damage. And then I like to go Serelda's Grudge. That also gives me more ability haste. Along with that, since I'm not running Dustblade, I get the damaging ability slow enemy by 30% for 1 second, which is really strong. If you're running Dustblade or Drakthar, you probably don't need Serelda's Grudge. But the way I think about it is Serelda's Grudge versus squishy teams and Black Cleaver against tanky teams. And then I like to, if you want to switch out Umbral Glaive for Ghostblade, that works as well. Ghostblade is nice because it gives you an active movement speed, and a lot of people like that, and I like that myself as well. But I really find the ability haste helpful on Umbral Glaive, so depending on how you want to play Zed, feel free to switch out the items and see which way feels better for you. And then Edge of Night, I like this one, really useful once you get like 2 to 3 items in. It's just really hard to stop you. You'll not find that once you get really fed as Zed, it's going to be really hard to stop you, and so Edge of Night is really good. This just gives you a shield, and so that you can block one ability without like being CC'd. And so let's just say you're versus an Annie or Syndra like I am in this video. You're just able to block out that one ability, which is like really like a ton of damage, depending on if it's like a stun or a damage like Syndra Q, E, or W, or even ultimate. And then you got the Black Cleaver. I like to stack these 2 items just for maximum ability haste. You don't have to. There are a ton of different options. I thought I had a few more options in situational here. Oh, here it is. Okay, so Ghostblade, I like that one. If you're versing heavy AP like Fizz, Akali, and Diana, and a few more others, you want to rush the Hex Drinker first, the part item to this, because Hex Drinker is really helpful in the fact that if you just get this item, you are basically unkillable, or not unkillable, but if you're good at the game, you're pretty close to unkillable, because it's just like if someone builds a Seeker's Arm Guard against you as Zed, it's pretty GG for you. Like, it's going to be pretty hard to kill them, or if someone builds like Ninja Tabby. Hex Drinker is the same way for Zed versus AP Assassins, so really helpful. You're going to live with like 1 HP or like 10 HP, and it's going to be really clutch. But don't upgrade that into Mortius. Make sure you go into your mythic so you get the mythic bonus and you start building on ability haste or movement speed if you're going with Ghost Blade. And then I like Camp Punk versus like Soraka, Nami, healers, Renekton, Olaf, people who heal a lot. I like that. I usually never go Guardian Angel. I probably only go Guardian Angel if I have like huge shutdown gold. If you want to run Guardian Angel, it's a really good item as well. I like it a lot versus I like building Guardian Angel when my team's good because then I can just go for risky all-in plays. And if I can't escape, then I have my team to back me up. But most of the time, I always have an escape route when I'm going in. Guardian Angel just ensures you a second life, which is really nice. Serpent's Fang is one of the most forgotten items for me. I don't really build it a lot, and maybe I should build it more. But I really like Serpent's Fang because of the true damage. But Serpent's Fang is a really good item overall. I recommend you guys get it if the enemies have a shield so that you just do additional damage versus shields. With that said, let's get straight into the ZED runes. I'm going to show you guys two different runes. And the first set of runes is versus enemy squishies as ZED. And so you go Electrocute, and then you can either go with Sudden Impact or Taste of Blood. Electrocute is the standard rune, just so you know. Don't ever go Dark Harvest or any of these other ones. Just not viable. But Electrocute is what you want. And then Sudden Impact is for extra damage. I usually rarely never go Sudden Impact. Always go Taste of Blood because then you just win lane so much harder and you take trades so much easier. And then Eyeball Collection, or if you're running Umbral Glaive, you want to run Zombie Ward as well. That's a really nice combo there. And then Relentless Hunter is viable if you want to roam a lot, if you feel like you can't kill your laner, or if it's easier to kill someone else. Like if you see an Ashe, Senna, Kog'Maw, someone immobile bot lane, Relentless Hunter really good for roaming. More like a Teemo top, Vayne top, Lucian top, something like that. And then you also have Ultimate Hunter, which is really nice. Ultimate Hunter I like because you use your ultimate, you get your ultimate faster. But I don't. The two ones I vary between is Relentless and Ravenous. Right, Ravenous I like to use for trading in lane, and I like for outplays in the mid late game. Just a lot of healing in general, and I like healing. Now, when it comes here, I run Transcendence. That gives me. I usually don't run Transcendence unless I'm against tanks. But let's just go over this really quickly. You could go run Transcendence for extra ability case. Really nice. And you see the level 11 here, you get the reducing the remaining cooldown of basic abilities. I don't want to spend too much time on runes. Runes are pretty simple and straight up. But if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. I usually always run Scorch. Scorch is really nice for winning lane. If you're up against someone you know you can win, make sure you run Scorch. And if you want to roam, go Water Walking. Water Walking is such an OP, underused rune, I feel like. And if you use this rune really well to the max of its ability during the laning phase, you're going to be able to snowball lanes so hard, out of control, that the mid game is just going to be a breeze for you. People think that Zed is a brainless champ sometimes and that he's really easy to play because, I don't know, they just do. But Water Walking just makes it so that you can actually play him like that with no skills, where you just throw out one combo and just one-shot somebody and then go to the next one and do the same thing. With Zed, I usually never run attack speed. You can run attack speed if you want. I always run 2 adaptive force, and then whether I'm versus AP or AD, then that's what I run. I always run adaptive force for the shuriken damage. And let's go to page number 2 really quickly so we can move on to the next section of the guide today. Looks like I don't have it. I might have deleted it recently. Let me just add a new page here, and let's go to Conquer. And so this is the Zed rune. It used to be really popular in Season 10. Now that it's Season 11, people don't really run Conquer anymore. But it still works. I still run Conquer on the games where like there's just 3+ tanks. Or if I'm versus like an Anivia, Renekton, Malphite mid lane, Pantheon mid lane, I'm going to run Conquer because it's going to stack my damage so much more than Electrocute. Electrocute does so little damage to tanks that it's ridiculous. And so Conquer is really nice. And then Presence of Mind. Really nice for once you start getting to the mid-late game. You start regenning, pretty much regen energy once you kill somebody, pretty much. And Triumph is nice too. It's nice for close fights. I find myself always running Presence of Mind more because I'm pretty good at Zed. And then you can go Alacrity if you want, just for fun, or Tenacity. I don't really recommend Tenacity or Bloodline. I don't really run these two, but if you feel like it's necessary for you to, then feel free and go ahead and do that. Alacrity is really nice. It's a nice perk when you're versus tanks. And then I go Coup de Grace always. Unless they have too many tanks, I'll run like Cut Down or something, or even Last Dance sometimes, depending on what their team comp looks like, if it's gonna be close fights or not. And you'll learn this through experience. And then with the secondary tree, you can go Sorcery. This is what I do against tanks. I go Transcendence, so I get more ability haste. I reach my 40% cooldown reduction faster, and that way I can actually kill tanks a lot easier that way. And then let me see. I either run Scorch for more damage, or Water Walking. Versus tanks, I like to run Water Walking a lot because I can just roam on them and they can't really do anything. I just push lane and roam and they can't really match me. And then also versus like AP Assassins, you can take Nullifying Orb as well. And then I don't really go Gathering Storm, but you can try it out if you like. And the same thing here, double Adaptive Force into one defensive. And aside from the secondary tree, I forgot to mention, let's just say if you guys were playing the first Zed rune, right? Instead of running Transcendence here, you guys can actually run either Triumph for Presence of Mind, and then either Alacrity or Coup de Grace, or even Cut Down. And so any of those are viable. Tenacity is a good rune, but once you start getting really good at Zed, you notice that you don't really get caught out a lot, and you notice that Zed is a really safe champion. And so you just find that you just never die with Zed, at least once you get good at him. Alright, summoners on Zed, you guys always want to make sure you guys take Flash and Ignite. Sometimes if you're playing versus tanks, you could take Flash versus TP, that's always viable as well. Otherwise, I don't really take Cleanse or anything, or Exhaust. You could bring Exhaust versus like a Yasuo or something, or Burst Mage like Victor. Something like that might prove useful to you, but I always like going Ignite. I always like getting the early lead, and so just keep that in mind. Zed's passive allows you to do extra damage to the enemy with an auto attack when they're low. This is good for CSing and dealing extra damage in your combo. Q is a shuriken, and that is your main source of trade damage. And so the one thing with the Q is it has a passive, and if you hit like a minion first and then you hit the enemy champion second, then it does less damage. As you can see, I did 490 here, and I did 294 here. So if you hit a minion first, it's gonna do a lot less damage to the champion, right? So make sure to remember to just hit the champion first. That's something that a lot of Zed players forget, and that's what separates good Zed players from bad Zed players. And then you got Zed's W, which is Living Shadow. Pretty much he can throw it out and it can cast the same abilities as him, or you recast it, you can teleport over. All right. So that's how that works. And then with the W passive, if you throw out your shadow and you hit both, if you throw your Qs, just keep an eye at my energy level here. And this is the W passive, so I'm gonna turn off that. All right, and so see that I'm at half energy. All right, and so now if I hit, I'm at like around half energy. If I hit this, I'm at full energy, right? So if you hit your double Q, if your W and you hit the same target on the Q, then your energy gets reset. Or it doesn't get reset, it gets refunded. The certain amount gets refunded. And so that's how that works. And then another thing a lot of good Zed players forget as well is, let's just say your W is on cooldown. If you press E, it will refund your cooldown, alright? So take a look at this again. Look at my W. It's on a 7-second cooldown, and I press, and boom, it goes down by like 2 seconds. It's like 1.5 seconds, but it's pretty much like 2 seconds. And then this works on like the number of champions as well, right? So let's say I'm a 7, now I'm at 2. See that? And so let's say if there was 3 of these people, I believe it's Shift S. Oops, no. Let's just say if there was 3 of these, here we go. I can just W in, and boom, I get the cooldown right back up. Right, so then I can teleport again. Not your shadow though, your shadow can't do it. It has to be Zed by himself, right? So watch this again. 7 seconds, and now I can teleport back out. And that's not because I have anything on auto refresh. Everything here is on general. So see that? No, just like that. And so with every I forgot to explain to you guys, Zed's E is Shadow Slash, and pretty much he just spins, but that's the passive on Zed's Shadow Slash, is it just reduces the cooldown on your W, and a lot of people forget that, especially when they're trying to run away. It's really clutch situation where you'll be able to hit your 1E and then just W over the wall. Like where you have like 2 seconds left on cooldown and you just hit the E on the enemy and you just W over the wall. Otherwise, you just keep running, and if you don't do that E spin before you to get that cooldown off, you might actually die. And so that's just something for you guys to remember. An extra tip. Those are Zed's abilities, and then actually his ultimate, it just, you can go and you pretty much go invincible for a short second and you teleport back behind them, and all the damage you do in this instance pops in a few seconds. It pops and doubles the damage, and so that's how the Zed ultimate works. Now let's go over some of the Zed combos, right? I don't know any of the combos of Prowler's Claw. I just use it very basic, so I'm not going to go over any Prowler's Claw combo, but I know like Laceration or somebody has videos out on Prowler's Claw combos. I want to go over with you guys the most practical combos that I use in game every game. All right, so this is what I do. Just the most basic Zed combo is W, E, and then Q, right? And then after that you can W, auto attack as well. All right, so that's the most practical combo. All right, and now what I also do next is you can do the W, E, Q, go in, E, and then alt T. And so pretty much all it is the full combo, and then a lot of people do it like this, and let me show you what's wrong with this. Right, the thing about what's wrong with this is my Q is not on cooldown yet, right? And so let's just say if you don't have as much cooldown as I have right now, you're not going to be able to do max damage. Let's refresh the ultimate. Let me show you guys. So what you guys want to do, what's key is you guys go in and you guys keep following them, and once your Q comes off cooldown again, you can go back in and you can ultimate and then throw your Q for maximum damage. And so that's how that works. Now this is like the biggest bait of all for like Zed players, and I'll show you guys what happens. Is people watch the Zed guides, and this is like the biggest bait of all. As a Zed player, as a Zed main, I don't recommend you use this combo at all. People press R out, and then they W, and then they Q, right? That is the worst Zed combo you could ever use. There's so many good Zed combos out there, that is like probably one of the worst, right? Like if you want to do that combo, you should do this combo, where you press W in a certain direction, and then you go out, just like that. You can either stick on here and follow them, or if they flash, you can follow them. Or if they're gonna throw out like a charm or ability to like snare you or hit you, you can teleport instantly behind to the other shadow, right? So you W first, and as soon as you W, you press R. So it's like this, right? And so if you need to dodge, you can press W to dodge. Or if they run towards your shadow, they run towards this way, then you just press R to go back, right? So there's so many different variations of this combo that you can do, and this is like one of my many favorite combos. Is, let's just say like I'm trying to engage Baron Pit, right? So I just go in, I just throw my W backwards, and I just R into my target. Okay, my ultimate's on cooldown. Let's try that again. All right, so let's just going in, throw my W back, and then just R into my target, and just spam my W and get out. And that's how you guys do that combo, all right? And you just keep spamming as you guys walk. You guys are running away. You guys just look at and throw, look and throw, look and throw. So really safe combo. This is the #1 combo I use every game, and it's so hard to counter this combo. This combo really has no counters. Like the only way you get caught out is if you W and you stay to auto E and then you go out, right? Which I do sometimes. I don't always do that, but I do that when I feel like I do that because I'm so far ahead, right? But sometimes when you're behind, this combo is really good for baiting out like enemy ultimates, like Kale ultimates, Lissandra ultimates, Pantheon or Stun, or even just like you know, Malphite ultimate, a lot of big ultimates, Rumble ultimates. As soon as they see you go onto their carry, they will just lay down their ultimate and you just press W back. And it's just really effective combo that I use in all my games. And so the most effective combo, guys, is the basic combo here, W, E, Q, W auto. And then the max damage combo is the next one that I recommend you guys learn. Just use a combo, keep chasing, and when your Q comes off cooldown, R again, and throw your Q. And then that's it right there. All right, and then the third most effective practical combo is the one where you trap them so they don't run that way, but they can't run that way, and so you chase them this way, or they flash this way, and then you just kill them, right? And so you just counter them 3 ways, or you can use it to escape as well. If there's a lot, you go into a team of 5 people. When you guys do this combo, you guys want to go into a team of 5 people. All right, you guys are running in, And people are gonna burn so many summoners, like exhaust. People are gonna burn exhaust on you. They're gonna burn ultimates on you, and that's the most effective thing about this that people don't understand. And then you just spam your W and you just get out as soon as possible, and you do damage and you come out. If you're really strong, you'll kill the target. If you're not, you won't kill the target, but at least you'll get some summoners and abilities. And so that's what's really important. The stronger you are as Zed when you use this combo is gonna determine like how the enemies react to you. If you're not strong at all and you try this combo out, you know, people might just not use anything on you, and someone might just stand where your shadow, when you place your shadow, and you might just get killed, right? That's why it's effective to throw over a wall. But those are the 3 most effective combos on Zed. Let's just pretend this is the enemy. Now, what most people do is they try to aim their abilities at the enemy like this, and they just hope they hit, right? Let me give you guys a couple tips and tricks, all right? It's like this. When you guys throw your W, to hit your W, make sure you throw it to a certain side, right? If you guys throw it straight to them like this, now your shadow's there, and now it's just going to be much harder to hit them because you don't know which way they're going to go. So you choose the direction they go, right? You come up and you throw your W this way. When someone sees your W here, they're going to instinctively walk down this way. So then you just throw out your Q that way, right? If you want them to walk up, then you throw it to the other side, and then you E for the slow, and then you hit the Q. All right, and so it's important that you hit the E for the slow, and important that you hit the Q. Another Zed tip, and a lot of people know this. If you've been playing Zed for a little bit, you know this. A lot of people, what they like to do is they throw their W, and they wait for the W to get there, and then they press E, right? But you should really, all you should really do is throw your W, and as soon as you throw your W, just press E at the same time. Just like that. So you E first, but then the shadow E's while it's moving. And then that gets the slow, and then once that gets the slow, you can throw your shuriken, alright? Another tip for when you guys are laning with Zed, alright? Wait for them to go CS, like this guy wants to go CS this right here, and then that's when you go in with your full combo and you one-shot him, right? That's like a huge out trade. And so those are the tips. And then as for hitting your Qs, same thing. Say this minion is low, you just walk up and throw your Q. That's it, alright? That's it. Every time they go CS, just throw your Q. Throw your Q, alright? Unless you gotta use it on minions, use it on minions. If they allow you to auto-attack minions for the last hit, then you can. Then that's fine, right? And then use your Q to last hit them. Use your Q to harass them. And pretty much, that's how you play Zed in the laning phase. And we'll go over more specifically in a bit here, how to play level 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. And I say all these 3 different levels because there are different things you can do within each level. Alright? And so I will see you guys there. Getting into the laning phase with Zed. With Zed, you want to play safe level 1. You also want to last hit with your Qs. If the wave is pushing too slow, or if you're not getting aggro down or pressured, you can always auto the minions and look for Q trades. I'm tethering Akali's abilities. Pretty much what that means is I'm walking back and forth trying to bait her abilities. Notice how she wastes so many abilities on trying to clear the wave. Meanwhile, she's just eating all my Qs without being mindful of my Qs at all. And it doesn't look like a lot now, but it actually all adds up. Notice once more here, I'm looking aggressively for trades where Akali's just farming. You really don't want to be the Akali. You don't want to be the one who's really passive. Even if you have someone against like a Syndra or someone stronger than you, early one, there's always a way for you to outplay them. And that's just like basically tethering their abilities. Just like how I'm not letting Akali's hit anything on me, I've hit at least 4 Qs on Akali. And so keep that in mind. That was example 1. Let's head over to example number 2 here. You guys can see example number 2 here. I also start aggressing onto Syndra. Syndra also trades back because she knows that she can't let me trade with her, and that's only natural. Looking for every opportunity I get. Also notice how I'm walking back and forth, baiting her Qs, tethering her abilities, making her want to use her abilities, and then walking away from them. Just looking at her character animation. Walking back and forth, walking near the minion wave so that hopefully she'll Q the minion wave, push back into me, and then also walking away as soon as I see her Q animation. And then when I have to like this, I just throw my Q when I'm forced to. But the Syndra isn't aggressive enough, and so I'm able to actually get some lane control here. Also, the wave is pushing back to me. I do take E here instead of W because I do notice this Syndra is a little bit better than the Akali. And so just farming safely for my Q here for level 1s. Now that we are level 2, let's go over what you should be doing at level 2. You can put a point into your W, and that's a little bit more high risk, high reward play. If you can hit your WQ, W auto attack combo, you actually proc electrocution and do a bunch of damage. Or otherwise you can take your E put a point into E, and it's an actually easier combo to hit. Just QE auto attack for electrocution burst, or just take it versus ranged matchups so that you can CS better as well. It's also very helpful. I tend to always try to put point in W if I can, but in some matchups it's just crucial that you take point in E, helps you CS, and the W cooldown is just too long in some matchups. If you can't land the combo, the W cooldown is just too long, and sometimes E is easier to go just for last hitting and talking combo wise. If you actually play your level 2 right, you can also get an early first blood. It is a little bit harder to do depending on skill level of you and your enemy, but it really depends. If you play this correct, then you can get a free kill in. Once you hit level 3, you hit your first power spike of the game. You really want to take advantage of this because this moment is really crucial. Whenever they go up to CS, just look to harass them like this. Notice Kiana's movement, how she's moving towards that canyon, and as soon as she starts moving towards that canyon, I trap her with my W, teleport over, and use my abilities, save my Q because I want to hit him and wait for her dash. Unfortunately, I don't hit her, but because she comes into the minion wave anyways, she ends up dying to all the minion aggro, as well as with Ignite and Zed's passive. Keep in mind when you're looking to hit your full combo to stay passive, because whenever you use your W, that's like the perfect opportunity for the jungle to gank you, especially when you're as pushed up as I am. Level 4 is similar to level 3. Just keep trying to hit that WE combo. Lean to one side, because when your W is on cooldown, your escape, you're really immobile without your W, and so you're an easy gank. Being pushed up as far as I am, you always want to try to pull the wave and have good map awareness. Notice where Rengar is on the map and where my position is. Because I see Rengar on the map, I just lean towards the bot side more than the top side, and if Rengar comes and ganks me, I run towards the bot side. Vice versa, if he comes from the bot side, I run towards the top side. Instead of running back to my turret when my W is on cooldown, that's what a lot of people do, and that's how they tend to get caught when getting ganked. It's a lot more useful to run towards the river bush and run away that direction than to run towards the turret. Once you hit level 5, it's another huge power spike for you because now you have 3 points into Q, and you also have a lot of kill potential by now. If you haven't gotten the kill by level 3 already, this will be your next point in time to get the kill. This is one of those moments where you see all those small victories being built up into one big victory. Like all that trading early game, all the scorch damage, all those shurikens that might have seemed like insignificant damage, all builds up into this one big moment at level 5. And just notice, if I never did that, I would have died to Akali here because I also tanked one turret shot. Also, like, if Akali had been trading earlier with me, I would have died here as well. It would have been a 1-for-1. It would have been really sad. But everything turned out really well because when we went all in, we had 100% HP and Akali had like less than 50. Playing your level 5 to 6 is also very important as well. You could either back or you could trade with your WEQ combo just like so, getting them pretty low, and so that when you get your level 6 power spike here, if you look at my experience bar, I'm about to hit 6, and you can also get free kills this way as well. If you want to back for items, that would be the preferred ideal way. Most of the time, I find myself just having a longsword here and just going all in. Unfortunately, I miss my skill shots because she flashed, played it poorly, and end up not killing her. But then because she decided to chase me, she gets executed by double shurikens. This is probably one of the most OP ways for you guys to start snowballing on Zed is the level 5 to 6, so make sure you keep this method in mind. That is how you play the level 1 through 5 and transition to 6. Once you hit level 6, you're pretty much free to roam anywhere, roam bot lane, roam top lane, and you even have the occasional of at level 3 to 4, depending on if the enemies are really pushed up, really aggro, or just low on HP, you can also roam even when you're at like level 3 to 4 to even 5. If your lane opponent is playing too passive, you can always look for these free picks in lane, just like this pick against the Darius here. He is full HP, but he is pushed in all the way, and that's just a free kill for us. The way you play your level 6 is by looking at the map. The more information you have, the easier it is going to be for you to snowball the game. Another way is pressing tab. Tab also gives you information as well, and with that information you can snowball the game. Is your bot laner more fed? Is their turret down yet? No. Okay, well you should go and help them take their turret. After that you can transition and take turret. Or is your top transition into dragon? Or is your top laner more fed? Should you roam top lane, snowball them, take their turret? and then back, or kill their laner and then take the Rift Herald? Or is it just easier for you to kill your own laner? Or is the jungler weak in the early game? Is it a Nidalee jungle, Master Yi jungle? Are they squishy? Can you invade them in their jungle and just kill them while your mid laner is coming back to lane or farming or ganking another lane, right? So the possibilities at level 6 are endless. Those are just but a few. How to play Zed after the laning phase. Well, Zed's laning phase is kind of weird because he likes to roam a lot, so it kind of ends at 6 if you start roaming. However, if you choose to keep laning, that's no problem as well. The only issue with this is make sure your turret doesn't fall when you're laning or when you have your minions pushed before you roam. That way the mid laner has to catch the wave or chase you and lose XP. One of the hardest things for people to learn is how to close the game as Zed. This is why Zed is one of the hardest champions in the game, because to be able to close the game with Zed, you have to know how to use his abilities to outplay your opponents and target prioritization. Here we have a 1v3 and we go on to Tristana, and after killing Tristana immediately, we escape. Here we have a Syndra. Keeping in mind Syndra's E, we go ahead and flash WEQ combo to get the pick so they can't do the Baron. And here we go ahead and pick off Syndra again, using my R to dodge Syndra E and Lux Q at the same time, and then we get a pick off here. And so it really is all just target priority, knowing how to use your kit and alt to dodge abilities, and how to play these in team fights, and how to take out priority targets so that you can take Barons, defend your base, that sort of stuff. Another easy way for you to close out games is around objectives such as dragons and barons. Make sure you sweep the vision ahead of time and get early vision. That way you can get picks once your team is doing dragon. You could zone the enemies, or you could get picks before the dragons or barons come up. And this is actually one of the most effective ways to win the game. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I've also got all sorts of other guides from top, mid, jungle, bot, and support guides, and so make sure to check those out as well. I'm leaving you with a really helpful top lane guide on how to split push and when to split push. Make sure you check it out if you want to learn how to close more games as Zed, as it'll be really useful when you're not strong enough to teamfight or when the enemy team is just too tanky with too much CC. Anyways, thank you for your time, and I will see you in the next video.